Welcome to Survival to Creation with Cory Thorell, presented by the Academy of Logic and Light. If you've ever felt like you're living on autopilot, reacting instead of creating, you're in the right place.
This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about recognizing the survival patterns that once protected you, building awareness, and learning to create from a place of resonance instead of reaction.
Every first and third Friday, we'll explore the journey from 3D survival through 4D awakening into 5D creation, combining practical tools, reflection, guided experiences, and real conversations that help transform insight into lived experience.
Our live episodes stream publicly on YouTube and All TV, opening the door for anyone who's curious. And for those ready to go deeper, our private community offers replays, journal prompts, guided practices, dream harvesting, and ongoing support between sessions. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about becoming the author of your own life. So take a breath, get curious, and let's begin the journey from survival to creation.
Hello. Oh, you get to watch that for the first time live.
Awesome. Hi, Julie.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Julie. If you're new here, I'm the Academy of Logic and Light, and we are here with our good friend Cory to do a really cool, different 12-part series. I'll let you say more about,
right.
You want to talk about this thing.
Awesome. Well, Julie, first of all, thanks for having me here. I've been so excited about what the Academy of Light is doing and the things that we've done together so far and some of the dreaming of the future that we've done so far. So I am most honored and excited to be sitting with you. For those of you who are meeting me for the very first time, my name is Cory Thorell, and I'm the founder of Cory Time Coaching. I am a life design and self-empowerment coach, and my work is centered around helping people move from reacting to life into consciously creating life. And as so many of us have done, I came to this work through my own healing path, my own transformation journey. And I reached a point where I had gathered a lot of information. I had done a lot of work. I'd asked a lot of questions. I had followed the breadcrumbs, and still there were places in my life where I could understand the pattern, but I still felt stuck. I was pulled back into the old parts of me. And that's why this journey matters so much to me. It's because awareness is powerful, but awareness alone is not always enough. And at some point, the question becomes, how do I live differently with what I know now? And that is the question at the heart of survival to creation. So my work, I've certified in all kinds of cool things. I've gone to school, NLP, superconscious recode, hypnosis, and a whole list of other things. But I'm not here to tell you that you're broken. In fact, I know that you're not broken. I'm here to help you see where survival has been leading your life, survival mindset, and where awakening is already happening, and where that creation is ready to begin. So I know many of you are here with some curiosity, maybe some tenderness, probably some skepticism, some hope, maybe exhaustion and excitement at the same time. And all of that belongs at the table. So there's my little introduction about what we're doing here today. How'd I do, Julie?
That was perfect. It got me more excited.
Awesome. Well, it's my intention in this series, it is to give the spiritual, the transformational, maybe practical guidance that I wish I had when I started this journey. That something moves from information to insight. And I think that's where we are in the world right now. The information age is coming to a close. There is so much information out there, but what do we do with it now? We all have phones in our pockets. We have AI. We've read the books. We've taken the courses. And now what? Now we're moving into the age of insight. And I think that's really important. We're going to talk about that today. We organize information faster than ever. So what are we doing with all of this information? This is where insight matters. Information gives us something to know, but insight changes what we actually see. And so, like I said, one tender-hearted warrior on the healing path can do something that information alone cannot do, which is recognize truth from the inside, our heart aligning with our mind and our spirit at the same time. So I would hope that people watching this series have a moment like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, exactly. That's what's going on for me, because that's where I started. My mentors showed up for me at the right time, right when I needed them. So Julie, once again, thanks for having me at the Academy of Logic and Light.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be great because obviously we have people coming in from various spectrums of the journey. And whether you fall into the logic and skeptic side of things or the light and you're not grounded, whatever it is, we come to bridge the middle gap, and we hope to find logic in the light and light in the logic, and so that the two may never
absolutely great. When I love that balance,
so
that's why I think the Academy is so well named, and it is because of the contrast or maybe the tension between logic and light. Some of us come into the window with logic, analyzing charts and graphs and information. Others come in through feeling, tender emotions, empathic experiences. And I think it's the tension between the both that creates the possibility of the evolution to the next layer. It takes both. And so there's something really beautiful about that, I think.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Right. So in the introduction, we talked about how these next 12 sessions, this journey of survival to creation, we're using the language of 3D, 4D, and 5D. When I first started hearing about the third dimension, fourth dimensions, fifth dimension, and all the other dimensions, I had questions, real questions, human questions, like, can someone please explain this in a way that does not require me to pretend that I already know? It was kind of amazing to me. I remember asking about the dimensions in different communities, different spiritual spaces, healing spaces, plant medicine ceremonies. And I would ask about the dimensions, and then I would get this awkward silence, and every head would turn in the room, and there'd be this awkward pause, like you're asking something important. Like I'd asked about an ancient secret, like everyone had agreed to nod wisely, while secretly wondering what was happening in the cosmic PowerPoint of dimensions. And I felt so strange about it. Like, I want to know more, but do I dare ask? I'm maybe not asking in the right room. And so there's an assumption about the dimensions. Like we hear about 3D as in like there's a three-dimensional cube, for example. Like we're living in the 3D world. But what does that mean spiritually? So we're going to use some language today, the 3D, 4D, 5D, as a map. It's not a state. It's not a destination. There's different parts of us in different dimensions all of the time. And we're going to clarify what these are, especially in the context of waking up, becoming self-aware and self-mastery. In the map of the dimensions, it's how we relate to life, like to safety, to pain, to power, to desire, choice. It's really about our relationship with possibility, especially in the fourth dimension. And that's why I love this with the Academy of Logic and Light. The light helps us feel what is possible. The logic helps us understand how to walk with it. So understanding does not take the magic away. Clean understanding gives the magic somewhere to land. It takes both. So here's the simple doorway, the map. 3D is where we survive. We're in survival mode. And sometimes we've done it so long that we've normalized survival mode that we don't look beyond it. But then the pain of change finally becomes less than the pain of staying put. So we enter the fourth dimension, which is where we wake up. We start doing our shadow work. We start realizing that there's more for me than just that. And we start doing the work of this. This is where we build a relationship with possibility. And then we stabilize. And then we move into the fifth dimension, which is creator mindset, predominant creator. It's acceptance of all things and choosing to create because of. So I've just said a whole bunch of information there. I'm going to pass the feather back to you, Julie. Are you with me? Am I making sense?
I'm ready. Yeah, I love that. I love all the dimensional talk too, because it does help give perspective too, is like the ego versus the conscious, like there's all these different terminologies for it. And that's why I like having so many different perspectives come on here and share what's working for you. And because this could be key pivotal words that help you transform your journey. So to be able to put in like the 3D of like, okay, this is awareness, this is us right here, or us right here before we hit the awareness. And then once you have awareness, it comes with a sense of responsibility.
Right.
Unawareness is honestly, it's dangerous. You'll see it on the streets of Utah when people are praying into their special underwear when they take that left-hand turn on a red light, man. Like,
right. Or everywhere else for that matter. And once again, it's not good or bad. It's just what you're doing with the tool in your pocket. Right? We all evolve and grow at our own clock and our own pace. But I really believe this to be true about every single one of us without question, is that we are all doing the best we can with the tools that we have in the room that we're in, without question, every single one of us. And when I remember that, I can meet somebody that I absolutely disagree with. I can meet them in the middle and have all kinds of room for them to be doing what they're doing and love them for it. Now that's big playing, that's healing, that's fifth dimension awareness. So I wanted to plant that seed here because I know so many of us are reacting to where we came from. We can't go back to where we started, but we're on our way somewhere else. Now that's fourth dimension language. But let's come back to this. The map of 3D, 4D, 5D, 3D survival, 4D awakening, 5D creation. So I think people out there listening can comment in the chat or make comments on YouTube and things. Please do. If you're finding yourself here, if there's something going on where it's sparking in your belly or your creative fire's igniting, or got a question about this, throw it in the chat. Because, we're stronger together than we'll ever be standing alone. This level of spiritual evolution is not a solo path. It is a community path. And that's why we're here together. So like I said, just drop one word: curiosity, confusion, excitement, suspicion, whatever it is that you might be sparking about with the 3D, 4D, and 5D reality. What do you know? What do you not know? So, okay, let's move on. Let's go to this next little chunk of the map. Why? Why are we talking about 3D, 4D, and 5D? There are teachings that go way beyond this. I want to just throw that in real quick. A lot of people talk about the sixth dimension, seventh dimension, and on to other expanded states. And that's really beautiful. And that's really amazing when you're ready for it. But in this conversation, for this journey, for this next 12 weeks, I want to stay within 3D, 4D, and 5D, because in this series called Survival to Creation, that's the journey that we're talking about. And it's really where a lot of people begin this self-awareness, maybe a spiritual connection, a new invitation to your intuition and your creativity as the leading part of your world. When we leave survival mindset and move into creator mindset, this is the journey, and I think this is what the world needs to hear now. I think as we look at the news and we look at what's happening in the world, most of the world is living in a ridiculous third dimension mindset. And we can see it everywhere. We can see it literally everywhere. And so I think there's a couple of phrases that make it in our own language. The third dimension, life is happening to me. I'm not in control. Shit happens. The world's out there. Oh my God. And I surrender to it. I accept the fact that this is me and that's all there is. And then all of a sudden we get to a point where there's got to be more for me than all of that, than just this. And this is, like I said, this is where the pain of change becomes less than the pain of just accepting the third dimension. Because it kind of sucks, but it sucks on purpose. It's not a bad thing, but it's difficult on purpose. Because it gets us to grow, it gets us to open. And some of us do it a little sooner with a little less pain. Other people that we really love and care and watch, it takes a good blow to the side of the head to wake up sometimes, or a bottoming out. But then fourth dimension, We start to arrive at an awareness of life is happening through me. I don't like it, but I'm making a choice. I don't like where I'm coming from, so I'm now aware of what I would like. I start saying, because of that, I would love this. Because of those terrible things, I'm aware of the good things. Now that's the journey. That's the evolution. That's the next step up. When we begin to stabilize that there's more for me, and we normalize reading the menu that there's actually a lot more for me, we move into fifth dimension, which is I consciously participate with life. And so the bad things don't disappear here. In fifth dimension, we create because of them. What is the solution that would be amazing right now? What is, because of all of the struggle or the difficulty or the negative story, I would love this. Because of that, I would love this. And then we put our attention there. So survival, awakening, creation. That's the map that we're talking about in this series. And this is really important because the map is not a spiritual scoreboard, right? It's not a ranking system. It's not, I'm in 5D now, good luck the rest of you. We move, we spiral, we return, and we recognize more. So we go through this again and again. Sometimes when we are brand new to something, like picking up the violin, for example, if you've never picked up a violin before, of course, you're going to not know what to do and be clumsy. And then you're going to make some noise. And then you're going to start practicing, make a couple of lessons, learn a song or two. And then eventually you're going to be playing a concert without looking at the music because it's in you. The journey's the same. We've all done it a million times. Now we're just bringing some awareness to doing it at a larger, more applicable scale as a human on Earth, as a spirit having a human experience. So I want to stop right there, Julie. Let's pass the feather back to you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's actually funny because the things that you're talking about are things that, again, we're usually on the same page. So I love it. Awareness and coming to the awareness of like, maybe that my reaction wasn't what I would have hoped I would have liked it to be, my higher self, you know. But as the community right now, we're going through weekly topics in the hero's journey. And this week, the topic is about worthiness. And that's a really a tough one, particularly for me. I can't speak for everyone, but looking at my surroundings, it seems to be a challenging one. But the first thing that you had said that kind of like popped up is awareness to it. So being aware of, I had all these like underlying issues of worthiness that were like deep rooted, not some of them in this life, some of them in a different life. But the awareness to anything, behavior, a pattern, anything, so that the next time it comes around, you can pause for a second, notice the pattern, and do something a little bit different that makes you feel a little bit better inside.
Well, 100%. And I love this phrase, we are becoming aware that we are aware. Now that's the medicine. Crazy. That's the medicine of the fourth dimension. That's the gift we receive when we start doing the work of the fourth dimension, which is our relationship with possibility. That's the work of the fourth dimension, is there has to be more for me than this. I don't know what it is yet. I can't go back to where I was going, and I'm certainly not knowing where I'm going. So I'm in the fourth dimension. I'm going to search, take a class, do a workshop, attend a YouTube video. I'm going to read a book, maybe hire a coach. I'm going to get some help. I'm going to put myself into the world in a new way. I'm going to get out of my chair and do something else. And I love this phrase, the pain of change became less than the pain of staying put. Right? That's part of that. We're leaving the third dimension. We're saying no more to that. No more to that. Right? So I want to come back around because this is really important. And I wish, this is one of the things I really wish I understood at a deep level when I started learning about the dimensions and my own spiritual path, is that we can be in different parts. Or maybe I'll say it this way, different parts of you can be in different places at the same time. Now I want to come back to that violin example, right? Most of us know how to drive a car, right? We have a driver's license. We learned it a long time ago. And when we first learned to drive a car, we were thinking about our feet and our hands and the mirrors and the keys and the stick shift and the clutch. And then we started moving, and then we learned how to drive on the freeway, and we were hyper aware of all of those things. That's sort of a third dimension reality. Like, whoa, I'm protecting myself. I'm aware of safety, and I'm clumsy as hell. And then maybe a year or two later, we're driving. We might have gotten in a car accident or two, but we're still confident. And then a little later, now we get in the car. We don't even think about the car. We don't think about the freeway. We don't even think about the people near us driving at 80 miles an hour. We're busy thinking about the next podcast or what we're going to do today, or we're having a conversation, or we're singing songs. That's fifth dimension reality. We do this all of the time. So there's different parts of us in third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension all of the time. Where in your life are you trying something new that feels scary? You don't know how to do it, and you just don't even try. Third dimension. A little bit later, well, you know what? The curiosity came back about that thing I didn't try, so now I dare to try. I hope I'm going to be good at this. I hope there's going to be magic for me. I'm starting to have some fun. There's something in me waking up that feels good. And I'm going to do it even a little bit longer. So now I'm not just hoping for that. I'm experiencing it. Like, oh, now I have faith that there's something in this for me. That's the end of the fourth dimension. Hey, cool. This is fun for me. I'm getting better. I have more skill. I have more confidence. And then all of a sudden we move to fifth dimension. You're unconsciously doing it. It's built into you. You're in the gap in between. You're doing the thing you love, and you're aware that there's more than just that. So we're doing this in lots of places in our life at the same time. You may be in 5D with creativity and 3D with money. You may be in 4D with healing, but 3D in your body, the real thing. I'm aware of my healing, but I'm really hurting right now. So I want to give that example that we all understand these things, maybe, but not by these words. We're all doing it. We've been doing it our whole lives. We're already mastering these things. This is not something way over there to go sit at the feet of the gurus and hopefully someday master. No, we are already mastering these things. It's about waking up to see that you're already doing it. So, but with what part of you? What has your attention right now? What part of your life is requiring you to show up with urgency or need or healing? Okay, cool. What other part of you is leading with confidence right now? Cool. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm going to pass it back to you, Julie.
Yeah, your analogy of being in pain and healing on the 3D versus the 4D. This week I blew out my back, so I'm like,
you're right.
I keep getting yelled at by by our psychic medium Charlene and other women in our circle of healing and actually healing, and that doesn't mean like being on my laptop on a couch doing slides.
Yep.
And I keep getting called out this week of like, are you actually in your body doing the healing? I'm like,
right. Well, let's take it up a notch, Julie, with that example. You know, I love this. So maybe your body right now is really hurting and you're limited, yes, and you have to sit down and you have to rest. But your awareness is, I know how to heal. I'm engaging with healing and I'm doing what matters. And maybe there's a part of me that required me to sit down to do this like this. And then your fifth dimension reality is, I also remember what it is to be healed enough to know that my values matter. All three at the same time on the same issue. And so the question for me, when we're looking at our lives and what has our attention right now, is what part of me is leading my awareness right now? My intellect might be saying, yeah, spiritual guru, workshops, information, all the things that I know to do. But my body is saying, this sucks, sit down, I can't even get up. But which one's leading? What part of you is leading? Is it survival consciousness? Is it transformation and possibility consciousness? Or is it creative invention consciousness? Probably all three, but which one is leading? Which one's in the driver's seat? I think that's an important.
I think we keep back and forth.
Well, of course. Well, because you're aware that you're aware, right?
Yeah.
You're also a tender human who hurts right now. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going back and forth, 100%.
Yeah.
So what do you notice when I say different parts of us can be in different places at the same way? If you're listening out there, throw a little something in the chat, put a little something in the comment box. If you're finding yourself in my story today or having an aha moment, just let us know. Engage so that we can witness each other in our own stories. I really appreciate everybody showing up in this way. Thank you for that. Okay,
it's so much more fun when there's people participation.
Oh, well, because we're stronger together. We are, and this is community work. The healing the planet one thought at a time. Absolutely. All right, so I want to come back into the dimensions, and I want to define them a little bit more. I want to dive into them. Now, this is kind of the overall, maybe stereotypical point of view or understanding about what 3D, 4D, and 5D is. So once again, third dimension is survival reality. This is the part of us that is organized around safety and control. It's around comparison. It's proof. It's about separation. It's awareness of the roles that we play and heavily based on external validation, right? So 3D is when your whole day gets hijacked by one email. It's when your nervous system treats a text message like a saber-toothed tiger eating your belly. It's when you say, I'm fine, while your jaw is clenched so tight that your teeth are about to break. Ooh, the 3D mind says, I need more proof before I can trust anything. I need the money, the plan, the approval, the results, and then I'll feel safe. And this is in the third dimension, time is pressurized. The past becomes evidence. The present becomes a problem. The future is a threat. And underneath all of that is the question, how do I stay safe right now? The question deserves respect. How do I stay safe right now? The survival self helped you get through many things already. It's doing its job and it's doing it really well. So just thank you. Let's say thank you to the survival self right now. You're amazing and you have been on duty 100%. You've been working your ass off. And I invite you to come in, be acknowledged, receive a compliment, and we're going to give you a recess. Take a break. Survival self adapted, protected, and it keeps going. So we're not here to shame survival at all because it's doing its job and it's doing it beautifully. We are here to recognize when survival has the microphone, when survival's in the spotlight, when survival's driving the car. That's what we're aware of here, or maybe becoming more aware of. So the big 3D assumption is if I feel broken or stuck or numb, or if I'm afraid, something must be wrong with me. I know that's a big one. Something must be wrong with me. All this struggle is happening around me because something's wrong with me. I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not significant. I'm not capable. I'm not enough. Therefore, I'm not safe. Ooh, and I know that those are landing with you. We've all learned these lessons. There's no immunity to a human learning these lessons. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. I'm not capable. I'm not significant. I'm not special. I'm not perfect. Therefore, I'm not safe. That's a big deal. And that is survival mindset. A part of you is saying, please, please pay attention. Your spirit's knocking on your door saying, pay attention. It's starting to hurt enough that you pay attention. So I want to stop right there on 3D mindset. Julie, let's pass the feather back to you about 3D and the real human experience of 3D.
Oh, yeah. I'm it.
Right.
I'm living it, man. I think we're also coming back from such a high for revival and So we had such a good time in just everything that we got to do there, and then coming back to reality, and then coming into the body, and then just settling it all, and the physicalness of being smited to the couch, and just sitting here. I'm like, wow, really forced to sit with some of this grossness.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna go through it together, and if you're interested in doing this work just weekly and tackling one subject at a time, the link in our bio, the free community challenge is do your fucking work. And we go through it together. So it's messy. Nobody is in charge. We all share tips and tricks and hold each other through the mess, because whoever is made healing look beautiful and aesthetic, you guys, it's a lie. It can be, but
it can be. It's not a 100% lie, but it's way more than that. Yeah.
It's so much more. It's
so much more than that. Right. Okay.
And it like, dude, going through and like looking at all of your things and like, okay, where did this come from? Why do I feel like I have to people please, but also overextend and be the best at everything? Who's in charge of this? Nobody. Those are my own standards. It's crazy.
Right. Okay. So everybody out there listening, that 3D mindset, how do you know that survival is leading? Usually it's tension, racing thoughts, the need to control. There's a numbness because it's just so much, which is overwhelm. Sometimes it shows up as over-explaining things, as defending where you are and shutting down. Okay, those are all real things. And if you're sitting in any of those places right now, I just want to send you a breath of fresh air and to acknowledge that it's difficult, but I want to let you know it's difficult on purpose, right? And I want to remind you that you are not broken. You are experiencing what it feels like to entertain the illusion of brokenness. I know that's a big thing to say, but I'm just going to let that seed land, right? So now I want to move, okay, something in me is trying to feel safe. Third dimension, there's something in me that doesn't feel safe, and there's something in me that is trying to feel safe. That is what's really going on, the overall blanket on the third dimension. So let's move to fourth dimension, the awakening reality. Now, this is the bridge between 3D and 5D. Sometimes I call it the hallway of transformation or the hallway of possibility, because literally we're going from one state to another, and this is the work of it. This is the awakening reality. This is where something in you says, wait, there has to be more going on here than I thought. There has to be more for me than just this. And sometimes that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of suffering. That's a lot of pain. It's a lot of other people's stories that you're now courageous and vulnerable enough to say, those stories are no longer mine. This is a big personal jump for most of us when we realize the stories we've been investing in were never ours to start with in the first place. Now, this is not a broken thing. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. In fact, it's proof that you were doing it right. And that's a big mind jump right there too. When we're little, when we're kids, we take on the beliefs and behaviors of our caregivers because literally we would die without them. We would freeze to death. We would starve to death. We would not be safe. So we take on our parents' beliefs, our grandparents, our community, our religious structures, our country, our wherever it is, the community or the ecology that we're in, we take it on, we learn it well, and we learn it enough to put our feet on it and say, this is no longer mine, and we push off of it into another direction. This is how we usually enter the fourth dimension. And a lot of times we enter the fourth dimension with a lot of hope. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I hope there's more for me than this. I certainly hope life gets better for me. There has to be something else for me. And that's true with a little thing or a really big thing. That's true from everything from changing the channel on the television to leaving a traumatic relationship, an abusive situation. The journey's the same, but the content's different. But the journey's the same. Fourth dimension, relationship with possibility, reading the menu. I love the analogy of the menu, Julie, because here, is when we realize that in the third dimension, we were ordering the same two things off of the menu our whole life. We never dared to do anything different. When we start doing the work of fourth dimension, when we see that there's more for me here, we actually can go, wait a minute, there's a menu and there's pages and pages and pages of the menu. And I've been stuck on the first option on the appetizer page, and I never looked beyond it. And there's entrees, there's salads, there's soups, there's daily specials, there's cocktails, there's delicious drinks, there's smoothies, and there's desserts in the back. And holy moly, there is more for me. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, there's more for me. And this is when hope turns into faith. And that's the benefit, that's the work or the gift of being in the fourth dimension, is that hope turns into faith. Now, faith can be a trigger word. I'm not talking about religious faith. I'm talking about faith as a knowing, a non-questioned knowing, right? That's what faith is. I'm not putting a spin of this religion or that spirituality or that practice's definition of faith. I'm talking about faith as I believe. I don't know what it is, but I believe there is more for me. It's the switch from I hope there's more from me, because you're still experiencing without. Hope shows up because there's nothing there. There's something else. You're doing the work of making room for something more for you. But then when all of a sudden, I just turn the page of the menu and check it out. And I just got the first course and I ordered the second course, and now I'm thinking about the third course. That's an energy change. And we feel that frequency, we feel that energy, and we send that energy into the world, and then the world starts giving it back. Hope turns into faith. So when we first start doing the fourth dimension, I got to say it, just like you said a minute ago, Julie, is that healing isn't all unicorns and rainbows. Yeah, there are some unicorns and there are some rainbows, but when we start the healing journey, we become hyper aware of the need or the desire for it. So usually what happens is the pain or the struggle that we've been trying to numb or run away from all of a sudden has permission to be present in the room. But that also means that you're confident and you're capable and you're ready to actually sit with it, maybe for the first time. And I love this analogy of all parts of us come knocking at the door. Our good, our attraction, our bliss, our happiness, and our joy. At the same time, our shame, our anger, our sadness, our struggle, our pain, parts of us come knocking at the door. And in this work, especially in my community, in my business, I use the analogy of the sacred table. Whatever part of you is knocking at the door, welcome them in, give them a place at the table. Give them the good wine and the good cheese, and welcome them like you would any cherished member, any elder, any celebrity, anybody special, any best friend, any lover. Welcome them to the table and ask them why they have come. And then shut the fuck up and let them talk. Because they've been trying to talk. They've been knocking. And then they knocked louder. And then they knocked loud enough that it hurt. And then they started pounding enough that it took you down. And then you finally were hurting enough that the pain of change became less than the pain of not answering the door. So now this is the work of the fourth dimension. Hope turns into faith. We start having the capacity to actually look at what is going on. We start asking different questions. Why do I keep repeating this? What is this pain trying to show me? Who am I beyond what really happened? Once again, we're aware that we're aware. And then we claim things like, I cannot keep living like this. I cannot do this anymore, which opens the question, if I can't do this, what am I doing? That's the relationship with possibility. That's coming back to the menu to say, well, what else is on the menu? I'm going to take a class. I'm going to do a workshop. I'm going to show up on a YouTube on Saturday morning. I'm going to do a thing. And I'm going to try and fail and realizing that every time I try, I take a step forward, and that failure opens another door. Failure's not a failure. Failure is a stopping and starting point. This is the work of the fourth dimension. So let's stop right there. Fourth dimension, Julie, how am I doing?
Good. So good. Yeah. I was like,
Awesome.
it's just too weird how spotted and everything that we go through in this community is just like so on point with what's happening in my physical reality.
Me too. Well, there's no such thing as a coincidence, right?
No, not at all. You're saying all the words that we've been covering. So maybe we started in the root chakra, and we talk about rage sitting in there, and we talk about the difference of how you process rage as a man versus a woman, and how society has taught us, and how it sits in your body and how to process it. And then when we got to the sacred chakra, we talked about guilt versus shame, and it was such an interesting topic because a lot of people don't even think about the differences of it. And then this this worthiness, and we're coming into bravery, courage. I have to look at the rest of the rest of them looking beautiful, but we're starting with the hard points at the beginning of every month, so that the rest of the months we can be working through it, but also claiming the blessings that come with working through those really hard things. Because
absolutely,
I cannot express when you start working through rage and shame and guilt. I had something when I think I was in my 30s, and I'm a flight attendant. So people expect me just to fly wherever for every event because I fly for free, free. And at some point, I just couldn't meet everyone's needs, the people pleasing. So I just had to have a hard moment. I was like, this is my life. I will not be made to feel a certain way because I'm pushing myself to capabilities to fly across the country for literally 24 hours just to come back to see someone for 2 hours that they may or may not remember. And so I had sit these feelings of okay, the guilt is actually me putting it on myself first. Because once I explain things to people, they're like, oh, we'll see you next time, or we'll make whatever it was, it's a lot more accommodating. But there were boundaries that I had to put for myself that otherwise would be beating all over of no one respects my time. Well, I didn't respect my time.
Right.
How can anyone else?
I think I want to add something here because I think it's so important, and I think it applies to rage and grief and sadness and shame. It applies to any part of you that's knocking on the door, asking for a seat at the table, asking for your audience. Is that the difficulty or the struggle that we're experiencing? This helps me so much, and is we're either loving or we're afraid. There's love and fear. If we were to boil it down to two things, I really think, are we reacting or are we creating? If we're afraid, we're usually reacting, we're protecting, we're shutting down, we're hiding under the bed. If we're loving, we're creating, we're building, we're imagining, our intuition's online, we're being really creative. And so love language versus fear language. I think shame, rage, anger, the lower vibration emotions, usually what's going on here is there's a betrayal somewhere of our love story. We're trying to love gigantically. I think every single one of us, when we said this at the very beginning, everyone without question is doing the best they can with the tools they have in the room that they're in, which means we're all trying to love gigantically. We're to love life, to love our family, to feel good, to do the right things in the room you're in, with your beliefs, with your tools, with what's going on for you, with the rage of the world, whatever it is. But we're trying to love gigantically. So when there's a betrayal to your love story, it shows up as difficulty. It shows up as struggle. And the longer we struggle, the more painful or the more heavy it becomes. And this helps, I think, really redefine that, one, I am not anger. I am not shame. These things are not identity, even though often we experience them as identity. I am not anger. I am a loving being experiencing anger because I'm trying to love and having a hard time. I have tried and failed enough that now I'm pissed off. And then I realized I'm no longer pissed off, but now I'm sad that I got pissed off again. And then I get over my sadness, then I realize that I'm shameful because I know better and I did it again. Right? And all of these different pieces of you, anger, shame, sadness, they all have a place at the table and they're all bringing a gift because They all have a version or a part of your love story that is sacred to them that they're trying to express. Now, that's why we give them the good wine and the cheese and say, thank you for coming. What is your gift? What is your message? I'm relieving of the old way because we're choosing a new one right now in the work of the fourth dimension. We're choosing a new way. We're finding a new possibility. But I want to add that. We're all trying to love gigantically. We're all trying to make an S curve in a straight world. We're all trying to do something beautiful in a world that's too fast and too quick. Scroll, 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 scroll.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. And because we're taught that feelings don't matter. We're taught that daydreaming is a waste of time. We're taught that you don't get to hurt and feel, to shut up and do it right and be strong and take care of it. Okay. Yes. All of that's good. And there's more. And there's more that matters. Right. So I want to jump now to the fifth dimension, the creator reality. Because I really want to honor our time together here. I don't want to go all day, even though we could talk about this all day. This is one of my favorite things to talk about all day. I kind of do talk about it all day.
Awesome.
But the fifth dimension, now once again, I love the phrase that healing is not a destination. Like when you heal, the clouds don't part, the angels don't sing, all of a sudden everything comes true, even though that is the illusion or the collusion that identifies how we feel broken. It identifies how we feel stuck. When I heal, I'll have the money. When I heal, I'll have the house, the new job, the new feelings, the success. I'll look better, I'll feel better, I'll do better, and everyone else will see me doing that. Healing is not a destination. Fifth dimension, creator reality is not a destination. It's not an ideal that we arrive at. It's part of the map. It's a step on the map. And once again, there's parts of you that are already in 5D that are confident and creating like mad. And there's other parts of you that don't even know it's possible because you're busy surrendering to where you're at. Okay, that's not good or bad. That's just the step on the path or the rung on the ladder. 5D is creation reality. Now, I love the image of a brand new art pad, a great big huge piece of paper, and the 64 box of crayons with the sharpener in the back, brand new, and you break the seal. What is it that chooses the first color? What is it that chooses the first stroke of color on that white page? Where does that come from? Where is that? Where do we go from nothing to something? Usually there's a reason. Third dimension, I don't want that. I know what I don't want. I really, really, really know in ridiculous, gory detail what I don't want. And I could talk about it in vicious detail instantly with no rehearsal. Go. Okay, because of that, what do you want? What would you love because of that? In fifth dimension, it's not getting rid of the negative or making the bad or the difficult or the struggle disappear. No, it's giving it a place at the table and creating because of it. I think there's an illusion in big pharma. There's an illusion in therapy. There's an illusion in self-healing and self-awareness to make the negative disappear, to just make it vanish, to make as if it's a bad thing. And a lot of us have really spent some time undoing some things, or I feel broken, I have to fix myself first. And I think that creates a loop of stuck. So in this work, in fifth dimension reality, it's not that the bad things go away, they take their place at the table, but the phrase, this is so important. We want to know what we don't want just enough, just barely enough to witness it, to understand it, to see why it's knocking at the door and the gift that it's bringing, and then to turn around and to know gigantically what you would love because of that. Now, in the 80-20 rule, we've heard this in so many things, in business and spiritual practices, 80-20. I think the world right now, 80% of the time is describing what is broken. It is talking about what's fucked up. It's talking about how much it hurts and the impact of that struggle and who else it touches and why it's wrong and just exactly why it's unjust in 1,000 ways. 80% of your day. Then 20% goes, and I really wish, but blah. And I would say to those folks, okay, well, what would you love? Because of that, what would you love? Because the autopilot's still so strong. They say, not this and not this and not that, and certainly none of those things. I'm like, okay, let's break the habit. Once again, I asked you, what would you love because of it? Dreamer reality's been turned off. Fifth dimension has been made unavailable. When we're in reaction mode, when we're in fight or flight mode, when our nervous system is in protection and safety mode, our imagination and our creativity and our intuition turns off because it's supposed to. You're not broken. You're doing it right because you're hunting for a danger to be safe. Okay, cool. That means you're doing it right. However, are you really in immediate danger 100% of the time? No. Is the world acting like it like right now? Yeah. So let's be aware that we're aware. Now let's turn it over. What if 20% of the time this is happening and I don't like that and I don't have enough money, and the politics, the struggle, the pain in the world, the upset, the low vibration emotions, okay, yes, they exist. I'm going to give it 20% of my awareness so that I can turn around and say, because of those things that are here for every one of us, including me and my parents and my lover and my town and my country and my planet, because of all of these things, what would I love? What would I love? Because fifth dimension, creator language, imagination, intuition, creativity is the language of your heart. It is the language of love. Okay, let's switchcraft. The moment when we take our power back from giving it away in fifth dimension, we say, yes, this sucks. And because of that, I am aware how important this is, because it would affect these people with these gifts and this healing and these solutions so that they can grow and heal and be alive and then teach their kids to do it sooner than they learned how themselves. Fifth dimension. It's not this ideal of the wise man sitting on the hill meditating about bliss. If you want to go do that, go do it. But it's not about that. It's about, okay, here we are. It's the art of the present moment. Now, I love this so much, the art of the present moment. There's a lot of people talking about that, being aware of what is here right now. The only time we're powerful is right now. Tomorrow never happens. Yesterday's a story that happened. Tomorrow's a story that we can change. The only time we're powerful is right now. But a lot of modern thought starts with the art of the present moment, being aware of what is here. Cool, 80-20. How are you aware of what is here in the fifth dimension from the fifth dimension point of view? Creator mindset says, because of what's here. And I would love this because of that. I now love this. So the question then becomes, what do I love enough to become powerful for? This is fifth dimension, 5D creator mindset. I'm not eliminating the struggle on earth because they all have a place at the table. But guess who else is at the table? Joy, appreciation, relief, bliss, laughter, the very best parts of you. All parts of you have a place at the table right alongside your shame and your difficulty and your rage and your grief. They're all tools in your toolkit. They all show up with a gift because they all support your love story. I want to stop right there. How am I doing, Julie?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think this is just such a beautiful, again, language to help people kind of process things and like slow down and really just like, and know like what the possibilities are, because a lot of it, our issues are really starting from in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being able to have that reframe and like all the different tools, and imagine what we get to do once we have all these really cool tools that we're working on right now.
And we already do have them.
Hard things. Yeah, we're just learning.
Yeah.
And we
We're
have to
learning
give
that
ourselves
we've
some
been,
grace in a lot of this.
I think a lot of this is we realize that we've had every tool in the box the whole time, but we might have been trying to turn a screw with a hammer, forgetting that in the other hand is the screwdriver.
Yeah.
Right? And that's part of the
How many
forgetting.
times do we do that?
Right. I mean, I think part of that is the journey that we come here. You know, what it is to have a human experience, a spirit having a human experience, is that we come here to forget so that we have the opportunity to remember.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
We're remembering how powerful that we are. We're having that human experience. And all of our difficulty in the world is the opportunity to test your values, to test what matters to you, to give you the opportunity to take a stand for what you believe in, to take a stand for what you love gigantically enough to become powerful for. Now, that's the journey that we're on. I mean, this is the first stop on this 12 sessions together between now and December, twice a month. Survival to creation. So today we talked a lot about the third dimension of, okay, there's a level of acceptance in the third dimension. Oh, this is all there is for me. This just sucks. Until, wait a minute, that sucks just too much. There has to be more for me, even though I don't know what it is. And I don't know what it is because I've been sucking so hard that my dreamer turned off. My imagination shut down. My intuition went to protecting me. But is a saber-toothed tiger eating your belly right now? Are you literally in immediate danger right now? But are you behaving as if you are all day long? Most of the world is right now. We've normalized the abnormal state of fight or flight. We've normalized the abnormal state of being afraid 100% of the time, which is not sustainable. And that's on purpose, because the pain of change will become less than the pain of being stuck. The third dimension's painful on purpose. So if you're out there listening to this and you're following this and you're hurting right now, I really want you to hear that you're not doing it wrong. You're not broken. You're not fucked up, even though everything around you might be teaching you that. It might be attempting to prove to you that that is true, that you have to fix yourself before your dreams can come true. And I want to say a really magical word right now: bullshit. And that is a magical word because bullshit is compost. We take our compost outside, we put it in the garden, we turn it into the soil, and then we plant our sacred seeds in that same bullshit so that we can get the most beautiful tomatoes, the most gorgeous harvest ever. And that's what I mean by your survival, your suffering, all of your pain is not an identity. It is your spirit knocking on the door saying, you have dream work to do. Your creativity, your imagination, your intuition is waiting for you to come back to the table. You're the one not at the table. All parts of you, all of your tools, all of your emotions are always at the table. Will you please come home? And that's the journey. That's the invitation of the work that we're doing here in our time together. So I know we're right at the end of the hour here, and I think we've pretty much nailed third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, and the setup of our time together over these next 11 sessions of survival to creation.
Mm-hmm.
How we do it, Julie?
Beautiful. Loving this. I'm really excited to get to know people as they're joining this. I know it might be like, this is new, it's something different, but there's a QR code in the corner. I might be pointing whatever direction. QR code in the corner so that we can all dive deeper together. And I will having all of Cory's links below in this YouTube. Mm-hmm. So if you want more sessions with him, you want more ways to connect. And also every week, Cory has a weekly Wednesday super conscious tune-up.
Yeah, let me jump in and talk about that. First of all, you'll see in the QR code, which I think is about right there, maybe. The first thing is there is a private community just for this. For survival to creation, this YouTube community, you'll see it there. There's a link that's kind of long. It says join the community. And what that is, it is like a Facebook group, but it's off of Facebook. It's a private housed community where this community gets to show up for one another, chat with itself, have access to workbooks and exercises and things like that. And you'll get a quick little email. You'll be a part of an active community. You can ask for what you need, offer what you can, because this is community work. The fastest way, the best way to do this work is to do it together and to sit in circle doing it. And so the first invitation is, if you're resonating and finding yourself in my story, join the community for Survival to Creation, and you'll see the link right there. Also, Julie mentioned every single week on Wednesdays from 3 to 4 o'clock Mountain Time for a long time, for 2 years now, I've been hosting the weekly Superconscious Tune-Up, where we do a topic every single week where we talk about the orientation of spiritual work. We talk about what's possible. We talk about all kinds of things. And when you join the Superconscious Tune-Up, you'll get the Zoom link to join us in the room live every week. And you can come as you are. You're not required to do anything except maybe just pay attention. But if you wanted to jump in and share and ask questions, you get to. You also get access to the resource library, which is over 70 recordings of the tune-up over the last year. And you can have an app, download an app and take this podcast with you in the car, on your mobile devices, or when you're doing things around the house. And there's a ton of really good work there. And if you're resonating with this work and you want to go further, the couple of links that you'll see there is you can work with me directly. You can find me on my website, which is corytimecoaching.com, but there's also the Breakthrough Blueprint, which is 6 one-on-one sessions with me, where literally we put you in the hot seat and we move you to making the rest of life the best of life. And I tell you, the clients that I've got right now doing this are absolutely so fun to see them smile, to be happy, to be in creation, to stop suffering and reacting, and to be in creation, literally making the rest of life the best of life. It is my honor and my joy to, because I'm not the one doing the work here. I'm just the one, I'm like the hermit with my little hood holding up the lantern saying, this is the next step. So if you're out there thinking, I need a next step, there's some links there. You can book a call with me. You can contact the Academy. There's going to be lots of opportunities with me and with Julie and with what we're doing together. So please, I hope if you're out there resonating with this, click on a link, show up, say hello for yourself. And if you know anybody else out there you think would benefit from this kind of a work, give the gift of transformation. There's no higher way to say I love you than I wish for your happiness. Yeah. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is going to be a really transformative 12 weeks, and I'm excited to get to do it with you, with the community, and whoever is going to be joining us. I think it's going to be a really, really cool experience, and I can't wait to see from week 1 to the week 12 transformation that's coming for all of us. And it's awesome that there are people like you, like me, and like all the people watching that are trying to do better for themselves and create that ripple effect, because it starts within for us to make world change. And the world is in a wild place and she needs our help. And that literally means showing up. So if this is your first time here, the Academy has a bunch of different offerings and a bunch of different things. And we're building really cool stuff with Cory and with about 13 other practitioners right now. So things are about to get really interesting and really fun, because it doesn't have to be alone. And there's a loneliness across the globe right now. And it's because a lot of these relationships or entertainment are all superficial. And to get to sit here and witness each other in transformative work is where real connection lies. Truly, it's magical. So I'm grateful.
So I just want to end with these 3 questions that honors the third dimension. Where in my life am I reacting from survival? Where in my life am I awakening and beginning to see the pattern? And where in my life am I already creating because I'm loving gigantically? That's what I want to leave it right there for today. Thanks everybody for being here. Once again, first and third Fridays, 10 a.m. right here on YouTube with Julie in the Academy of Logic and Light. I'm Cory Thorell. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We bridge the gap between what the world often keeps separate, logic and light, and spirit and science. We welcome everyone to come as you are and invite you to become the hero you want to become. through educational tools and community connection. We offer tools, teachings, and community to help you remember who you are. This includes live shows, workshops, nutrition and wellness, and exclusive member perks. Logic leads us, light guides us, community connects us. Check out our TV Digest channel guide on All TV. Catch your favorite show, live stream, or find a new favorite show to add to your notifications. We are always adding new standalone episodes and series. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Find us online on our website and all major social media platforms at Academy of Logic and Light. Click the link in bio to join our community. We hope to see you again soon, either here or on your hero's journey.